Well, since I just made one video, I figured, why don't I make another one? This is not my entire titanium collection, it's just an idea of some things. The purpose of this is because I want to show you different things that are available in titanium, different little mini kits that can go in a survival kit, some cooking ideas, and most importantly, titanium stuff that is worth the price because you're going to be using it all the time. We'll start with the big boy. I believe this was called the Snow Peak Stow and Go. It's heavy now because it's actually full of food. I cooked in it today, and it comes with its own lid, as you can see. 48 ounce up to this line here, which is 1.5 liters. Big titanium pot with its lid, fold out handles. I believe that's the largest one that Snow Peak makes, but I use it all the time. Throw in a couple of cups of water, a bouillon cube, a couple of different types of vegetables, and you make yourself a nice vegetable soup in that. Put it on low heat, let it steam for an hour or two, and you're good to go. Move that out of the way. Smaller version. This is made by Backcountry Gear Titanium. Still wet, I just washed it actually. Also comes with its own little lid. Much the same idea, just much smaller. This is something you could use in the house for warming up a cup of soup. Perfect for making something like ramen noodles in here. Of course, boiling water for coffee or tea. Just throwing cold water in it with some lemonade mix or something works fine too. And it's small enough to carry with you when you're out hiking, so you can get used to this at home and away from home. The other one being so large, that would be more family size. You'd use it on camping trips, but not particularly hiking. Some other gear I got. These are Snow Peak. That's the Snow Peak titanium bowl. And this is 2 Snow Peak titanium plates. These are my, main dishwares here in the house. Those are my plates I eat off all the time, and the bowls I have cereal or ice cream out of all the time. I have 2 of each. I only have 1 here, but I have 2 of each of these, and as a single guy, this is pretty much all the dishware I need. And again, titanium, it'll last forever. It's something you can go camping with it. If you use a pot grabber, you can put this straight on the fire and use this as a frying pan. Even the bowl, you can put that right in the fire and boil water in it. So these are things, even though I use them at home all the time, they definitely have some applications outdoors if I use them that way. I have 2 different sizes of these. These are double-walled Snow Peak containers. That's the smallest, and I believe that is the largest. Being double-walled, they keep your liquids or foods warmer a lot longer. This small one I believe is 7 ounces, so you fill it a little short of the top with boiling water, put in a instant coffee mix, add a little sugar and powdered milk, and you have yourself the perfect size get up and go coffee. Stay warm a little longer because it's double walled. And a large double walled one again. Fill it up with soup or a stew, and it'll stay warmer in your hands a lot longer when you're out there in the cold. These are probably not something I'd actually carry with me camping out there, because they're double walled. You do not put these on the fire. Double wall containers are not designed to go on the fire. They can have expanding gases inside the two walls that might explode. But they're great at home, and actually the small one is so small that it's something I might consider carrying if you have room inside another cup to put this inside of. Just because when you're out there and you make yourself a nice hot cup of coffee or something and you just want to sip on it over a course of time to keep yourself warm, it'll stay warmer in here. The sizes, I believe there's 3 or 4 other sizes between these two. They're very hard to find now. Snow Peak seems to be out of stock of just about everything. They also have a version of these which are only this tall but get wider on the bottom, which are double walled. I would consider one of those as well, but Snow Peak is out of stock. Titanium thermos. Very easy to clean. Made out of titanium. I got it, of course, because it'll last just forever. People probably saw, regular viewers probably saw my unboxing of this. Great little thermos, especially if you preheat it with boiling water and then put your coffee in it. It'll stay too hot to drink for 8 hours at least and stay warm for 12 or more hours. In real world conditions, it's a great thermos. I do have another version of this coming. Snow Peak, I believe it's Snow Peak, makes a new thing, something called like a canaya mug. Basically it's a double walled container with a wide mouth, and it's designed with, it comes with 3 different lids: a freezing lid, a hot lid, and a sipper lid. And it's probably about this tall. It's fatter, and it's designed so you can put a 12 or 16 ounce soda can into it, then put the freezer lid on top. The freezer lid has a gel pack that you freeze, and it'll keep your drink cold all day long. You can also put a warm beverage in there and put on the hot lid to keep it warm, which is well insulated, or you can put on the sipper lid and just use it as your coffee tumbler going back and forth to work or out on the road. That should be coming during the week. When it comes, I'll make a video on it. I'm excited about that, just to use it more as a tumbler, fill it up with coffee in the morning and drink coffee on my way to work and such. Vargo titanium water bottle. This is a single walled titanium bottle, so it can go on the fire. I've actually, just for testing purposes, put it on the stove here at home and boiled water in it. It boils relatively quickly, surprisingly quickly. And of course, being titanium, again, it'll last forever. It's the last water bottle you'll ever need for people looking into saving the earth and not using plastics. Although steel bottles are nice, clean canteens are very nice, but titanium weighs a lot less and should have a very long lifespan. So sometimes you can save the planet by just getting one thing that'll last forever. From quite some time ago, titanium dive knife, where the knife itself is actually made, it's not titanium coated, it's actually made out of titanium. I got that because I cannot describe how little this weighs. This thing weighs nothing compared to any other knife. It weighs less than regular pocket knives, half the size. I got it because titanium will never rust. That's a cool blade there. Real survival situations that could be used for skinning. Be used as a spear. That hook will help it stay inside an animal you're spearing. It has attachment points here so you can put along a stick. You have a hole here and a hole here to tie it onto the stick with, so you use it as a weapon. So knife made out of titanium. Titanium tent pegs. Multitude of uses. I always use 2 of them. As you can see, 2 of them are darker with my titanium stove. Of course, you use them as tent pegs and other things. This is the Vargo titanium stove. Inside is the Vargo titanium alcohol stove. It used to have 3 legs on it, which I just broke off, because just like this, sitting inside of here is just a perfect combination as a stove. My titanium fuel canister, MSR. Can't find these anywhere. It's got 10 ounces of fuel in it right now, which is good for 10-minute burns basically. Plenty to broil a cup and a half of water 10 times over. The Vargo titanium stove is great because it's collapsible. Collapses down to that size. I stepped off camera looking for this. Here it is. This is the case it's carried in. There you go. Very easy, pocketable stove to carry with you. So you use this. Of course you can use this without any of this. You can put solid fuel directly into here. You can even fill it up with little pieces of wood and use it as a wood burning stove. Very, very handy stove, but I find it works perfectly as a pot stand combination windscreen. So I have my alcohol, and then the stove functions as a pot stand and windscreen. Of course, if you're out there for a long time and you run out of fuel, you can use solid fuel tabs, as I said, or sticks or paper. Anything that'll burn will go in there. Video I just did a few minutes ago showed my mini solo cook set. This is part of what's going to be part of my car kit. This is the GSI Outdoor Titanium. Comes with its own, I believe it's titanium. Not actually 100% sure. I think it's titanium. But it comes with its own little pot cozy to help keep it warm. I have in here a folding titanium spoon by Vargo, and this is a pot grabber for taking this off the fire when it's very hot. I happen to use it this way to stop this from scratching inside the container. I also carry some Advil, some waterproof matches, and this is my fishing kit. This is a work in progress. I'm going to be figuring out some more little things to put in here. But this way I'll always have a container for boiling water as part of my car kit. Comes with its own zipper lid on the top. Very handy system. Now, I showed you a couple of pots and pan sizes. I actually have about 7 or 8 more variety size of cups and cups up to pots. This is the smallest cup, blue Snow Peak. As you can see, it's filled with an assortment of titanium cutlery. That is a Vargo knife with 2 ever new titanium, 1 spoon, 1 fork. I got 3 of these spoons and 3 of these forks together. They didn't come with knives, so I just added the Vargo knife to it. So I'd have one hanging set like that, which will go into the car kit. Of course, I have a whole selection. In all told, I have about 4 knives, 5 spoons, 5 forks, and a spork. And I also have 1 extra long for if you're using things like Mountain House meals and you're eating out of the bag, you want a deeper spoon. And for mixing, but I actually got this mainly when I make coffee in my thermos. It's long enough to go down and mix everything up inside the thermos. So yeah, the purpose of this video is not to show off a whole bunch of titanium stuff, it's to show off the usefulness of it. especially the very large pot, which I use all the time. I mean, if I would have had to go out to the store and buy a pot for even a cheap one for 20 or 30 bucks. I spent double the money, but I have a titanium pot that'll last forever. Cutlery, you can get cheap cutlery everywhere these days, but this fork, this knife, and this spoon will last longer than I will. And as you see, I have a whole collection of forks, knives, and spoons. They're the only forks, knives, and spoons I use at all in the house. As far as actual other cooking gear I have that is not titanium, I do have two non-stick frying pans that were designed for camping sets. They have folding handles, they're small. I use them once in a while. I do have a hand-hammered wok, which is quite old, but a real hand-hammered wok will never rust and will never stain. It's a great little gadget I have for cooking. And yeah, that's about it. I don't have any cast iron skillets. I don't have any big pots and pans. Even for boiling water, I just have a little aluminum tea kettle from Optimus. I think it'll only boil 2, maybe 3 cups of water. But that's it. That's for people afraid of going out and spending money on good quality titanium stuff. Just realize you can use it everywhere. You think, why would I spend $30 on a one fork, knife, and spoon set when I could go to the Sears and get a set for 13 people for that price? Well, leave that set in water overnight, or leave it with food caked on it, or leave it outdoors for a couple of days. See what condition it's in. Do the same thing with your titanium gear. Wipe it off and you're good to go. Even if we're just getting started, you just want to get a simple, small $30 titanium cup from Snow Peak or any of the companies. You're thinking, why am I going to boil that small amount of water? Well, let's say you're sitting around the house in the morning and you want coffee, instant coffee or tea. You just put the required amount of water directly into the cup, put the cup directly onto your stove, and go ahead and boil the water. When the water boils, turn off the heat, add your coffee, add your tea bag, your sugar, your cream, whatever. Ready to go. You don't use 2 different instruments. You don't need to boil water one place and make it another, and drink it out of another. You can use one thing for everything. I do that all the time, actually. This cup, all the time, I'll just fill it with water, put it on the stove. Once it boils, or when it starts to boil, I put in the coffee and let it boil into it. Then I'll put in a couple of spoons of sugar, some powdered milk. The handles, even if they do get hot while cooking, once you turn off the flame, within a minute or two, they're cool to the touch. Titanium loses its heat. It doesn't retain heat very long, which is fantastic. Of course, with the boiling water inside, the body will still be hot because it transfers heat very well. But without anything hot near here, these handles will get cool fairly quickly. So there we go. I just want to do a, dare I say, quick video. We're at 19 minutes. I just wanted to do a video about titanium gear and why I'm really so fascinated with it. I mean, that titanium thermos, titanium water bottle, it's the last thermos and water bottle I'll ever need. The titanium cups, just so convenient. Make 1 cup of coffee in the morning. That's all you need is your titanium cup. You don't need to boil water in another place. Forks, knives, and spoons are just great. As a single guy, sometimes I'll be eating something and not finish it and leave the fork or spoon stuck into it and put it to the side and forget about it for a day or two. Well, with stainless steel or any normal forks, knives, and spoons, you have a chance of rust. You have a chance of being very hard to clean, but titanium, man, this stuff is great. So anyway, that's my second video for today. And I'm going to sit down and have myself some coffee. Thanks for watching, everybody.